I suppose unfortunately many of the people that we will work with on a daily basis will be in active addiction. They may be polydrug users, they may have low or reduced tolerance to substances, and as a result they're high risk for overdose. So a feature of our work is responding to overdoses. So on a daily, weekly, monthly basis we could get calls from the public, or it could be happening on one of our premises where somebody has taken an overdose. In that sense we will respond. We'll respond with first aid and naloxone, and our staff are trained to administer naloxone. What naloxone does, I suppose, it revives an individual who has had an overdose. It reverses the effects of the overdose. So what happens basically is there's receptors in the brain, and when you take an opiate substance, then that will attach to the receptors in the brain. However, naloxone, once it's administered, will remove the opiates from the receptors, and it serves to, I suppose, revive an individual or reverse the effects of the overdose. Naloxone comes in two different forms. There's the intramuscular injection and there's the intranasal spray. So each of these, they work the same way, they're as effective as each other, but it just depends on the situation and the circumstance. So the intramuscular injection is, so you administer it into the middle quarter of somebody's thigh, and generally that should bring somebody back. You've also got the intranasal spray, and that's administered by inserting it into somebody's nose and pushing that button. Yeah, naloxone has been a game changer. Low threshold services like our own, I suppose in the past it would have been a big issue where you're losing a lot of service users to overdose. Naloxone in the sense is a game changer because it allows us to respond to an overdose effectively, and it buys you a little time until the paramedics will arrive. So we'd work closely in collaboration with the HSE, both at a local level through our work with the outreach team, but also on a national level with the HSE naloxone project lead Jenny up in Dublin. And I suppose what we're doing is we're working together to ensure that our staff teams are trained to administer naloxone, that those that are at highest risk, that we can respond to them, and that I suppose the risk of overdose is greatly reduced. So yeah, look, I suppose why would somebody overdose? Very often those at highest risk of an overdose are those who will be polydrug users. So that might be somebody who's using a number of different substances, particularly opiates such as heroin or morphine. They could be using street tablets as well, so they're a high risk of an overdose. So you'd also have somebody who has low or reduced tolerance. That might be for a number of reasons. They may have just left treatment, they may be new to using the substance, or they may have just left prison. So they are, I suppose, are those that are most at risk, and part of the work we do is about identifying those who are at risk, and ensuring that we're ready to respond if and when the need arises.